Hey, so this is going to be our last one for this year, okay? So for the potters, I'm going to have you make a bowl. It's actually pretty cool. I got an example of it here for you so you can be able to see that. And then for the hand builders, I'm actually going to have you make your orgometric sculpture, okay? It's not going to be huge, but it's going to be sizable, okay? And you're going to be using quite a bit of your clay. It won't be hollow. But anyway, so I made some videos, so check it out. And I'm going to show you the bowl, and I'm going to show you an example of the sculpture, okay? Alright, so here's the example of the bowl. Check it out. Pretty nice, right? Decent. Okay. Notice from the inside. Turn it a little bit. You can notice that's a little bit different on each side. Notice the texture. And yeah, that's a foot on it. Okay, so those are the things that we're going to be doing. Okay, now, these bowls were not just something that I handmade just simply out of nowhere. Okay? This is not just something I made out of nowhere. I actually used an existing bowl as my mold. So you're going to be able to do that too, okay? So after I rolled it out, you notice that I got it really nice and wide, as big as I can go, and I got it really thin, okay? Now, to do that, what I had to keep doing is I would roll it out as much as I could. Then I would take another piece of wax paper on top and I would flip it. Okay? Take off this piece of wax paper and then do it again. Okay? Then once I got it as far as I could go, I would then put another piece of wax paper on top and flip it again. I had to do this easily, like anywhere from 8 to 10 times. And the reason why I had to flip it like that is because the bottom of the oil clay actually kind of grabs onto the wax paper and doesn't let it stretch out. So after a while, it won't get any bigger. It doesn't matter how warm it is, it's just not going to get any bigger. So I had to keep on flipping it so that way it would move. Okay? So make sure you check that out and you pay attention to that as you flatten it. But again, you want to get it as flat as possible, as big as possible, and get it thin. That's going to be pretty good. Okay? Now the next step is I take a piece of wax paper, okay, put my bowl upside down, take the wax paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the wax paper around the bowl as best as I can, tucking it into the bowl, see? So I'm tucking it into the bowl, get it nice and smooth as best as I can. If it's not perfect, it's not that big of a deal, okay? Here, make it nice and tight. It'll kind of stick to the bowl. Plastic, metal, doesn't matter. Just remember, you're going to have to make sure that you clean it really, really well when you're done. Then from here, I'm going to have another piece of wax paper that's going to be underneath my bowl. Here, just like that. No wire. Don't need it. Alright. So put it right on there, so I'm not directly onto my table. And then I'm going to take my slab of oil clay and I'm going to lay it over my bowl, just like this. Okay. Push that out, move that out of the way. Now I'm going to actually start to bring it down around my bowl. Notice how I'm kind of pushing it down in here so that way it can come flat. Okay, molding it around. So some areas are going to get a bit thinner. That's okay, that's not a problem. Keep on coming down. Sorry you couldn't see there for a second, it was my arm. When I've pushed it down, you can feel my bowl underneath there. I could take my tool. I'm going to cut off some of this. Put it onto another piece of wax paper. Okay, never put it directly onto your table. Now check it out. Got a decent bowl going right there. I'm going to bring this in here and I'm going to fix that lip, right? So I'm kind of squeezing the clay up, so I'm like pinching, right? So using my pinch method. Okay. Pinching down. Right in here. To get it to a nice, decent shape. Now I'm going to be able to cut this off later if I really wanted to, which I might. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Okay, so go ahead and get to this part. Once you're at this part, I'm going to show you the rest. Alright, so for this next part, what I'm going to be doing is adding textures. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I got a bunch of texture tools here, right? I got that. I've got this, because this has a nice little round, this little texture. Okay? And I also have like a bottle cap over here and everything, right? And yeah, by the way, yeah, root beer. Ha! You thought it was something else, I know it. And then I actually have an ID card here. You know, it's not like I'm going to need it the rest of this year. Wow, too soon. Okay, so, yeah, it's an old one too, by the way. Look, oh my god, ew. Anyway, so I'm going to be using this as kind of like a straight edge when I need to. All right, I even have this again because, well, who knows? I could do a bunch of goofy stuff with this. Okay, so check it out. All right, I'm going to speed it up and you can see how I add my texture. One thing is sometimes I'm going to have to roll it out with using my roller. Okay? All right, so here we go. Pay attention. Alright, so this next part's pretty cool. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a foot to this. So I'm going to move my bowl out of the way and bring in some more of my clay. So basically what I'm going to do is, just like I did with the mug, is I'm going to build a long, flat, what do you call it, slab. Right? Now, notice I already kind of got that cut right there. I'm going to show you how to do this from start to finish. Okay, and for this, and by the way, this other stuff I'm going to be able to use, so I haven't like crumpled it up yet. That's if I want. So now, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my ID, right, and I'm going to push a little line in here, right, that creates a little line, obviously, right, come back in here, make sure it's as straight as possible, okay. Cool, so there's my foot. So now I'm going to switch over to my bowl. With this, now what I'm doing is I'm attaching it around here. I'm going to cut at an angle so I could bring it together. Now, a proper weld is going to require me to actually put a coil on this, right? And I know some of you don't like to do the coils, but we're going to put a little coil right around that just to make it stick a little bit better. next step is I'm going to actually kind of trim this a little bit. So I'm going to flip it over. All right, what I want to do is I want to trim the rim a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and take my wire tool here. And I'm just going to bring it up around here. Nice and easy. I'm just going to give it a little pull. Holding down my bowl. Okay. That should have given me a little bit of a trim. Right. Bring this around this way. Pull. It's a little thin there. Okay, so I'm going to have to add a little bit more clay. Okay, now taking out the bowl is actually pretty easy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up the clay here, or open up my wax paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the bowl out. Look how easy that came out. Move that off to the side. Now this I have to be careful about, okay? So as I'm peeling it, I'm kind of peeling just a little bit towards the middle. Just a little bit at a time, right? I'm not trying to peel the whole thing out at once. You have to have a little bit of patience. Okay, it is very satisfying. I actually really enjoy this part. Okay, wherever it gets a little tight, notice how I come down and grab close to the wax paper. Okay, grab close to the wax paper as best as you can, pulling towards there so I don't deform my bowl. There we go. That was pretty cool. Okay, now you'll notice, yeah, one side is thicker than the other. That's okay. That's not that big of a deal. But check out my bowl. Alright, got a nice, decent bowl going here. So again, this is not food safe, so don't put any cereal in this. Now, one of the things I could do is I could go through and try to smoothen it out on the inside. That's not necessary. I could add things to the outside if I wanted to, but that's my bowl. That's what I'm gonna be asking you to do. Okay, texture, base, texture, foot, and texture, foot, and form. Okay, cool. All right, have fun.